This has stirred up a lot of controversy over gay rights, and it has also divided San Antonio City Council. It's also what Elisa Chan, the councilwoman, and her staff were talking about in that secret recording made public a little more than a week ago.
And by now, you know, we're talking about the proposed non-discrimination ordinance. It is a 20-page document most people have not read, at least from beginning to end. That ordinance won't be posted on the city's website until it is presented to council this week.
News 4's Emily Baucom obtained a draft of that ordinance today and joins us at City Hall with more on what it would and would not do. Emily?
This document is still a work in progress. Councilman Diego Bernal, who spearheaded the ordinance, will be presenting a later draft to council this week. An updated draft, he says. Opponents, though, say they're looking for more clarity in these words. Meanwhile, the war of words rages on, specifically over these words in the ordinance: gender identity, sexual orientation, and sex. So what do these words mean for you?
This is nothing new. It's really a no-brainer.
It's one of the most vague ordinances I've ever seen in my life.
As you can see, it depends on who you ask. Supporters like Dan Graney say straight, gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, asexual, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be discriminated against for your sexual preference.
This is about common sense protections for a segment of the population that has historically been discriminated against.
Graney says the ordinance applies to city employees, city contractors, housing, and public places. He says it does not apply to private businesses or churches. And he says it does not prevent anyone from running for city council or sitting on a city board or commission. But opponents like Alan Parker say this ordinance is more than a slippery slope.
It's an inevitable slope because this sets up the process for filing complaints against businesses that don't do it.
For example, can a business owner complain if a man who is transgender uses the women's restroom? The words bathroom and restroom are not mentioned in the ordinance, which makes it a gray area Parker says is left open to interpretation. Supporters argue absolutely nothing would change. But Parker's looking for more specific wording, especially when it comes to how churches handle the ordinance.
I'd like to see a list of the behaviors that they think are discriminatory so that people can know whether you violate the law.
The councilman behind the ordinance, Diego Bernal, says, quote, "The faith community has given me incredible feedback. They want clarity." He says a new draft, which council will see Wednesday, will include that clarity. City Council will discuss the ordinance this week and is expected to vote on it next week. If you'd like to make your voice heard, there is a public comment section of this week's meeting that starts Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Now, we posted the entire ordinance at our website, news4sa.com, so you can read it and make up your own mind. Reporting live downtown, Emily Baucom, News 4, San Antonio.